headlines. 20,000 Afghans deported from Iran in 15 days, says Iranian official. UN's planning to release report on human rights Afghanistan on Feb 29. UN calls for education access in Afghanistan on Women and Girls and Science Day. Majid Shuja, Iran's border guard commander of Khorasan Rzavi province, announced that from January 21 to February 4, a total of 2,000 Afghan citizens were deported from the country and handed over to the Taliban. The Iranian labor news agency quoted Shuja as stating that these individuals lacked a valid residence permit. In a report on Saturday, wrote that these immigrants were deported through the Doghram border and handed over to the Taliban representative. The border guard commander of Khorasan Rzavi province emphasized that Afghans are required to enter Iran through official and legal entry points. Otherwise, decisive measures will be taken against those who attempt unauthorized entry. United Nations Richard Bennett, UN Special Rapporteur for Human Rights in Afghanistan, announced that he will release a comprehensive report on the Afghanistan human rights situation, including the status of women and girls, on Feb 29. During an online discussion on X Space regarding the Taliban situation of women and girls, Bennett stated that report would cover the border human rights landscape in Afghanistan and also addressing other human rights areas. The report will be published online a few days before my address to the Human Rights Council. He said Taliban has notably increased its restriction on women's rights, media freedom, and prompting international concern. Recent action included intensified crackdowns and the detention of numerous women and girls for illegal bad hijab. As his earlier reports, the UN Special Rapporteur expressed a serious concern about human rights violation, women's rights abuses, freedom of speech restriction, and reports of extrajudicial killings under the Taliban rule in Afghanistan. United Nations on the International Day of Women and Girls in Science, the United Nations Office for the Coordination of Humanitarian Affairs reiterated that the importance of full access to education for women and girls, especially in Afghanistan, where the Taliban have imposed educational restriction. The UN Office for the Coordination of Humanitarian Affairs emphasized that equal access to education, science, technology, and invention and the vital for Afghanistan economic development and progress. It called for addressing the Taliban's educational limitations. The World Food Programme reported that Taliban restriction on women and girls could hinder improvements in Afghanistan. The UN marked this day to highlight the barriers women and girls face in education in Afghanistan. These challenges have intensified since the Taliban's return to power, with many women and girls left behind. In education and technology, despite severe restrictions, some Afghan female students continue their studies online. Momina student shared that we can't work in governmental clinic due to incomplete documentation. We continue our studies online, striving for access despite the limitation. The World Food Programme's latest report notes significant Taliban imposed restriction on women and girls since August 2021, particularly in education. According to a UN survey, 77% of respondents reported negative impact of this restriction on females. On women's activists like Safia Arifi criticized the Taliban policies. Over 80 directives aim to restrict and exclude women. Afghan women's protests have been met with the suppression, torture, and imprisonment, Arifi said. The report also highlights the impact of Taliban work restriction on women affecting female workers. Ingam Sahra, a resident of Kabul, expressed that the situation is dire. Women can't work. We crossed into Iran where unemployment is also high. I hope for a better Afghanistan. Some girls and women deprived of education have reported mental health issues for being forced into marriage, leading some families to flee the country.